There, you'll be happy I'm going to a brighter spot.
Okay, that looks. Okay, everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our weekly Fireside chat. I am excited today. I've got a guest, Don Carson from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Oh, hold on, I gotta set up my... Okay, I had to shut off my audio on my YouTube there. Anyway, so I'm going to start over. Good morning, everyone, and hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to our weekly Fireside chat. I'm actually at my home here in Las Vegas in my office instead of in front of my fireplace. There's something going on in my house. I got some guests over, so I am confined to my office, and I'm excited today because we have Don Carson. Don and Nancy, people I've been working with for, gosh, what has it been, 6 years? And just incredible people. Don has had, and his wife Nancy have got multiple businesses. And Don, you know, I want to have you share a little bit of your history and your background as well, from a traditional standpoint, also from a networking standpoint. You know, we do try to keep these fireside chats a little bit from a generic standpoint, because we never know who's all going to be on here. Not that we can't talk about, you know, our company and what we're doing, but I just want to make that quick little point. But Don is coming to us from his lake home. He's from Winnipeg, from his lake home on Lake of the Woods. I've been up there multiple times. Absolutely beautiful setting. Looks like he has some people in the background enjoying the lake. And one of the things, what I want to do, Don, today, because this is a very much of an open discussion. We'll talk, we'll get engagement from others to, you know, chime in and pitch in. And, you know, we did a three-way phone call yesterday. And, you know, just how well that third-party documentation, that three-way phone call and stuff works. I want to maybe center our topic today on the third-party documentation, utilizing, you know, the three-way phone calls, how to do that, when to do that, you know, why to do that, and all those types of things. But before we jump into the topic at hand, Don, just, you know, for everyone, most of the people on here obviously know you, but we don't know who's all on. We're streaming here on YouTube as well. So we're streaming live on YouTube as we go through this. But if you wouldn't mind, Don, kind of kicking us off, giving us a little bit of your history and background, and then we'll work into the topic and we'll open it up for discussion. So discussion, questions, and thoughts. So Don, go ahead.
Yeah, good. I mean, again, I'm on my dock here at the lake. Can you hear me okay with the wind in the background and the waterfall going and so on?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You know, to me, the key to this business, as you know, is lifestyle. John, you and I have talked often about this, and people work hard on a day-to-day basis to one day have some form of lifestyle. And what I believe in my heart that this company offers so many people is to make some money more often, a little bit of money, more people, more often. And that really is the magic to what attracted Nancy and I to this originally was, yes, we've had some success and had one of our companies that we sold to a company traded on a New York Stock Exchange. And, you know, that led us to a lifestyle. But when we almost died in a boating accident back in 2014, the lights almost went out for our kids because that cash flow vehicle that was the business mind that I had would have been gone. And there's no telling what it would have done. So that was really what got us started originally on looking for something to generate residual income. You know, very few people can afford that hotel mentality of apartment blocks and real estate and that sort of stuff that would pay them monthly for rentals. And then there's those that maybe aren't going to be apt to invent something to get residual off of royalties. So, this is the closest thing that I could find in a distribution model that allows people to participate in a global environment for a small little investment. And really that investment comes in the way of you getting in where you fit in and buying as much product as you think you can use or consume, find a vehicle inside there that you like to tell your story about. And that's what we did. Originally it was the coffee and we told that story. And now we're so excited about the fact we have 3 categories of product with wellness and the other things. But yeah, this is a generic kind of conversation, but it got me into this industry because so many people need this type of opportunity, John. So many people need the ability to stretch their own sort of grow up mentality to say, hey, I can do more from what I have currently in my life. And where am I going to be able to find a vehicle to do that? And I think network marketing is that vehicle.
Let's just, Don, talk about that for a moment. Okay. Before we jump into my topic I had mentioned earlier, because you and Nancy, you guys have owned multiple businesses. You've done millions and millions of dollars worth of business. You've made millions and millions of dollars in the traditional business realm. Okay. And one of the things that I believe is so powerful about what we do in network marketing is we offer that opportunity for that person, who may have dreamed one day of having their own business, but, it's quickly dismissed just due to the barriers of entries, the finances, the knowledge, the risk that is taking place. And quite frankly, in most of these types of traditional businesses, it's a grind. It's a grind and the risk is high. And really, to be honest, the rewards in a lot of businesses, yes, you might get lucky and have something unique and something special and ring the bell in a big way. But the vast majority of these businesses, are not killing it from a profitable standpoint. Even restaurants, that's a labor intense business. And you can be a hot restaurant for a while, but then the other thing is so many things can go wrong. And I just want to make a comparison because, in network marketing, right, we have things that go wrong. We have challenges and we have disappointments and we have setbacks. And the everyday person involving himself in network marketing, unlike someone who's done traditional business, they don't know how to deal with these setbacks, these hiccups, these challenges that are inevitable for every company that's growing. Right. And they're going to have these setbacks and they're like, oh my God, it doesn't work and whatever. And the reason I want to, and I hope you're following me on this because what we have for the everyday person to build a business without the risk, without the headache. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, can be unbelievably rewarding in so many different ways. Personally, personal development, relationships, and helping people. I truly believe there are very few traditional type businesses that can compete, and almost none that the everyday person can enter for just with a passion, a desire, and a few dollars to have this type of potential. There's nothing like it. And so we need to, as a group, understand how incredibly powerful what we have is, right? And sometimes I think we almost need to, our members, our new people, especially people that have never done business before, almost inoculate them a little bit from, why this is so special, because they're going to run into the setbacks and the disappointments and the hiccups and all that, but helping them understand, how powerful this is compared to a traditional type business. So you coming from that background in traditional, then looking and experiencing great success within this industry of networking, give us your thoughts and feedback, and then we'll take a moment and get a little input from some others.
Sure. You always say belief is the key here, and I've heard you say it many times, and I think that word decision inside you making a belief is kind of got to be connected more, because you can believe something, but if you don't decide to fulfill or go through with it, you're never going to have success. Traditional business is a bigger dollar value risk because of the initial onslaught of money that you would lay out there. And if you, again, don't make the decision to believe that you can be successful, don't invest those dollars to buy that franchise or whatever it happens to be, because there's no hope. It's work. It's no different here. Maybe the money entrance level is different. It's lower, but the decision is still there that you have to believe you can do this. And that's why I always talk about the why and, all the sort of stuff that goes with it. But I want to key in on a word that I often do something on Sundays called a coffee chat. And I really keyed in on this word freedom, because I think people get into business because they think that freedom is the thing you can get from being in business. But what they don't know is how many hours that person stays awake at night, worried about the debt, worried about the risk that they've covered, or worried about the fact that maybe it's not going the way they planned. And that word freedom, somebody else sees them because maybe they're driving a nice car, but they don't know the loan they have in that car. They don't know the mortgages they have. And they think that they're successful and look out, businesses are amazing. But the truth of the matter is, even in networking, John, 90% of the people fail because they don't understand what the word freedom really means. And the first thing I get now for new people is to help them understand, listen, this is work. This is network. Understand the word work marketing. But if you want freedom, you're going to have to understand you've got to make the decision to absolutely commit to go it until you feel like you've been successful. Folks, I was 8 years losing money in my traditional business till I actually broke even. And during that 8-year program, I had lost money. I had a couple of relationships that fell apart as a part of my work ethic, but I had a vision. I had a dream, and I stuck to the plan, and I wrote it to the point where 8 years after the fact, I was able to leave my teaching position and go on to it full time. It's a commitment, but I wanted the freedom. So today, when you sit and look at a 7-acre lot, a multi-million-dollar home on the lake, it's not because I got lucky. It's because I was consistent in my dream to go for it and not deviate. And it's the same thing here, John. Honestly, I think the opportunity today is greater than it was back when I first started here with this particular company, because of what just happened the last 18 months. The last 18 months, most of us were stuck indoors. Most of us are saying, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But you know what? The real opportunity is going to be in the fall this year. We always talk about the fall harvest, but the real opportunity is going to be when people finally get it out of their system. Okay, I got some freedom back. I really want to go for it. Well, you better be planting seeds right now in this industry. And this is what I look at it. Plant your seeds right now for those people that you're going to start re-seeing. Show them how excited you are about things. Don't necessarily hammer them on the head and say you have to do this. And watch what happens in the next 60 days when people start looking back and saying, okay, yes, I want some freedom. What do I got to do? It looks like you're happy, Don. You and your wife have some cash flow. All those things are happening for you. What is it you're doing? And they engage in you. And you're going to be the same, John. I know you are looking at the fall harvest a little different than you ever have. But I love this word freedom because it's misguided. And I think we all have to get really good at understanding people that it takes a lot of effort. Like there's no BV in TV. Right? So you've got to really understand that you've got to have a lot of determination and effort to get to that point where you can say, okay, I have freedom. It doesn't just happen overnight. No different in this industry as is in traditional. The difference is here, we don't have the big risk. All you have is your time to give, John. And that's what I love about why you and I became such good friends, is because you're a mentor to my wife and I, because you're an industry veteran. You've been here forever. I'm a guy that's played with this for years, but I've had success here. But I understand the traditional business acronym it takes to make a success story. And I'm learning from you all along here what it's going to take to be successful in this type of industry. And that's why I think, what you do on a regular basis is just so powerful for the average person to tune into your Zooms and so on. So anyways, that's my perspective, a little long-winded, but I love the word freedom and getting people to understand that it's not just a lucky charm. It's a work ethic you have to put to it.
Well, and you talked about 8 years in your traditional business, before you started to turn a profit, right? And I mean, people in network marketing, I mean, they want to work for a day and get paid for a day. I mean, I saw something on Facebook earlier this morning, and I forget who the post was. It's something about you don't plant the seed and you don't plant the seed and enjoy the fruit on the same day, right? And that's the thing we need to help people understand. Because people have that mentality, because we attract the everyday person, that they're used to going to work for a day and getting paid for a day, right? And I always talk about those 3 stages, right? The first stage, you're underpaid, then you're got a little team going, some leverage, you're paid what you're worth, and as it multiplies and grows, you're paid more than anyone's worth. But along the way, there are so many hiccups and hurdles, like anything. And yes, there are, you look at when things are in that momentous state. This is true in any business, Don, your business too, right? And I mean, traditional type businesses, there's always that summer months, as Jim Rohn talks about, those seasons of life, that explosive growth where you literally can't do anything wrong, right? It's just because it's just so hot. But that never will last. It never will last. And you're going to have corrections and dips, and then that summer month will come again. But again, the other mistake people make is, as soon as the leaves start turning, or the leaves start falling off the tree due to winter coming, they panic and think the tree's dying, and it isn't dying. It's just going into its normal cycle, and it's going to start growing again in the spring. It always happens. So, but I just think that's one of the biggest challenges people have in this industry, is treating it like a business, like a real business.
If you look at this business, the networking business, and then we relate it to a marketer like myself, because I did a lot of things, shopping channel personality, those types of things. But one of the things that I recognize today are the basic understanding of people's psychological place right now. They pick up their phone on average 58 times a day. Think about that for a second. 58 times a day, you have a chance to catch their attention. Go ahead and do a newspaper ad like I used to do in my old businesses, and spend thousands of dollars to have an ad on a newspaper, and watch that page get turned, and they never even saw your ad, and they never picked that newspaper up again. That's why that's a challenged industry today. Look at all the choices you have in media like radio and so on today. People don't necessarily hear your commercial on that radio. People don't necessarily see your commercial on television because they've PVR'd it or whatever. All of those challenges in the world of traditional business are eliminated in the networking business because of that thing called a mobile phone. 58 times you have a chance to plant a seed with a smile, with an emoji, with something that they wonder, what is it that this person's saying, doing, whatever, that has got them so darn excited? What is it that they're asking me to look at? What is it? And you know what? It costs you nothing to tap that phone with something, a text, or whatever, a social media post, whatever. That's why I believe in my heart the different forms of distribution today, and I participated in all of them. I had an internet company that sold online. I had the shopping channel company. I've had a wholesale distribution company, and I've had 6 retail stores where I lost $1 million in 1 year and closed 5 of them. Now I have 1 retail store, and I'm making oodles of money off of 1. Why? Because we direct the traffic to that single location with the right kind of marketing. It's no different than you guys on this Zoom and watching this after, whenever you play this back, or if it's recorded or not, I don't know. Think about that, what I just said. 58 times a day, you have a chance to get a hold of people's attention who are participating 16 hours a day on average on some form of media, be it the computer, social media, or whatever. That's the value of what we have here. And it gets me darn excited, if you can hear it in my voice right now, because I get advertising, I get marketing, but I get psychologically how motivating an extra $300, $400, $500 a month for the average person can be. And when you add what we have here in this industry to the average person, lights out the best business there is in the world.
Well, and just to expand on what you talk about, reaching people, advertising, and the amount of things that are competing for our time. And one of the other reasons why networking can break those barriers, because of the personal contact. I mean, you can have them at your lake and talk to them, right? You can be on an airplane. You can be in it's that direct connection that you can do there. We're loving your looks like, oh, there we could do the Fireside and the Lakeside right there.
Right there. That's the new bar add-on called The Turd, by the way. I'll have to explain that to you, but that's my new doc.
Yeah, well, the one that you're sitting at right now, that's the
well, here, yeah, we'll take you on a little tour here. I got some friends here that are going to be in the shot, but that's the Hillbilly Fish Bucket right there. I think you can see.
Yeah, the fish
Don,
bucket.
you've sat at that bar and had a Don Tini with me. I know you have.
Many times. Yeah. You don't come to the Hillbilly Bucket without having a drink. So.
Well, no, I mean, you can have whatever you want. Look, I'm actually, be honest with you, and there's my I got a personalized glass called Hillbilly Fish Bucket, but this is water. It is something honestly, in it, water. So some of us just drink water.
It's mostly water.
Yeah. You, on the other hand, never mind. I'm just kidding.
But anyway, guys, also, I just want to mention too, before we move on here, next Friday, I have another special guest coming on, somebody that's made millions of dollars in this industry of network marketing. They're not part of our company. It's somebody I met in this mastermind that I do with Eric Worre every week. And he's agreed to come on, and we're going to interview him, and we're going to talk. I'm not sure of the topic yet. His name is Bob Rakowski, and has a lot of success in traditional business in addition to the network marketing industry. So we're going to have him on, and also just mention too, Don mentioned, is this recorded? This is, of course, all of these are recorded and housed on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel yet and followed me, liked me, hit the notification button so you know when we go live. So you're able to get all those updates. Literally hundreds of videos now at this point on that YouTube channel, and so tremendous amount of knowledge and value there. So with that, we're going to take a moment here, and we're going to give those out there listening a chance to chime in here and see if they want to add to this portion of the conversation before we move into our other topic. Anybody want to share their thoughts, their experiences, their ideas about this concept of traditional business, network marketing, how powerful what we do is. Anybody want to jump in?
I'll jump in, John.
Okay, go ahead, Robin.
Okay, so I just want to say I'm having a lot of fun being in network marketing. I've never been involved in something with so much involvement. It's incredible, and I'm learning so much just being involved and just staying plugged in, and I don't even know what to say, just because I'm excited, just because I'm getting myself out there and showing myself and speaking up for myself. And even though I don't really know what I'm doing, I've been doing it for 3 months, and and I know I'm going far. So having these Zoom meetings, I get recognized, I get appreciated, and you don't find that in the normal work field very often. So I wake up with potential every single day, and I know that I have leaders looking down and up to me at the same time, and I'm looking up to them, and it's great to just have everybody involved with each other in this whole networking family. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Robin. And that really, again, speaks to the power of what we're doing here in network marketing. You're 3 months into network marketing, never done this before. You started coming on these Zooms, literally, and building the courage up to speak up. And here I think you spoke up now in the last 3 weeks. And so the personal development, and you mentioned something else there that's, I think people really can relate with, is you're being appreciated, you're being recognized, you're being valued, right? Which people don't get in their job, right? About the only time they get recognized is when they screw up, right? Then they get noticed. But so it is, there's just so much. And part of, Don mentioned it when he says, that I talk about belief all the time, people by people, right? Passion, posture, belief, enthusiasm. And that's why I'm telling you, regardless of whether your business is growing, flat, or declining, you need to be excited. You need to be excited about what it is that we really offer. It's so much more than just the products. It's so much more than just the compensation. There's so much more to what it is that we do, right? And you need to look at it from a whole picture. So the next time you have that bad day, as I always say, a bad day, here is a lot better than a good day at work. Right. So anyway,
John,
go
John,
ahead.
I'd love to add to what Robin was saying about her commitment early here, and congratulate her first off. But, that back to that word freedom, just to kind of highlight a point I wanted to make there about the failure people have, is that they get to choose. They get to choose if they're going to attend this Zoom. They get to choose if they're going to be here on time or late. But if you had a job, you can't choose to sleep in and not show up. You're not going to have a job very long, right? So there is a choice here to make, though, if you're going to do this, to be able to show up and be involved and engage like you are, Robin, and in early stages. So congratulations. And you made a choice. And that's an example of success early. So good on you.
Hey, Don, I'm going to just expand on what you just said there, because I'm going to put it in as you're talking about it. I know Rap Shell talks about this all the time, too. But I'm going to put it in a really clear terms. Look at the activity, look at your mindset, look at what you're doing in your business, and ask yourself, if you were doing that in a job, would your job be at risk? right? Or would people be saying, you know, listen, we need, this person's going above and beyond. This person's, you know, I mean, really adding value. So, I know that can be sobering, right? For some of us, when we step back, look at our activity, look at what we're doing, look at our mindset, look at how much time we're spending at something, and ask ourselves, if I were in a job doing what I'm doing, would I be getting a raise? Or would I be looking for a new job, right? Because you'd be getting fired. So, again, that can be sobering. It's not meant for anything, just as an analogy, you know, of anything worthwhile is going to take effort, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take consistency, and it's going to take focus. So,
Yeah.
With that, we'll open it up again for anyone else want to chime in.
John, it's Pal.
Hi, pal.
Oh, hey, Paul.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Let me introduce myself. I'm over here in Dallas, Texas. I'm a diamond in your organization. A lot of people misconcept network marketing and owning traditional business. I'm a contractor with FedEx Ground. Okay, I own the small business contract with the FedEx for 20 plus years, and I'm, you know, compared to network marketing, I tell you, I get so much personal development in network marketing, and it's really low cost. A lot of time people just come in and with the employee mentality, that is not gonna, they're not gonna make it. I tell you honestly. But to build the network marketing is a long term. So if they have to have a commitment and discipline. Without those, you can't go far, because those people jump in, they think they can get rich fast. It's not gonna work, because people follow the committed person, you know, like the people that have commitment. You know, commitment is the key. And build the network marketing, they have to plug in the system. You know, like Don said, you know, you compare traditional business with the network marketing. I mean, nowadays we have so much easy way to get out, because social media and all these interact. A lot of time they don't want to engage with people, but come down, you either way, you have to connect with the people. You have to talk to the people, engaging with people. And most of the time you have to learn your soft skill, which is, you know, like communication, which is your people skill. You can't escape from people skill, because network marketing is not, is it said network, you know, it's not like a home-based business. You're sitting at home and expect people gonna hop in your business. Thank you, John. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, pal, for contributing and appreciate that. And it's again, it's just reiterating, you know, that major point. Nothing, but the other thing you mentioned too, you know, communication, right? I mean, the network marketing, what we do is, I mean, it's like a university, because we teach you along the way. You might be terrible, and a little bit later you might be okay, and then pretty soon you're going to be good. We help you hone all those skills, right? Just through involvement and through participation. Anybody else want to chime in here?
Yeah, I'd like to. Along the lines of communication, John, one of the things that I've discovered is my problem seems to be that people just don't see it as quick and get as excited as I do instantly. I've got to use some patience, you know, and not jump into what I've got to offer, but establish the rapport, get the interest built up first. Communications is more than just talking to people. You've got to follow it.
Well, I'm going to expand on that as well, because when you talked about people don't getting excited as quickly as you, and you think about your excitement now, right? But let's back up for a moment. When you first saw it, right? Did you instantly get excited? You know, many times we think that, you know, bringing someone in as an event, it's a process, right? Of them beginning to understand and learning, and so rarely somebody sees this instantly is excited. You have to have the patience, right? And even you're excited now, Jim, but when you first did you get excited immediately, or did you go through a process? Right?
Let me tell you, it's kind of funny. Many years ago, a good friend sat me down. He says, I want to show you something. He wouldn't tell me what it was about. And it came to be known later as the Amway ambush. But as he drew these circles and everything, you know, all I could say was, yeah, let's get started. What is it? And his response was, it's Amway. and I never heard of it. What is it? But that was 100 years ago. But yeah, network marketing has just always excited me. I've had very varying degrees of success with it, but I am excited about Valentus and the products we have.
Well, listen, this is a great segue into our main topic, and we only have like 15 minutes left, but which is that third-party documentation. And when you talk about that getting someone excited, going through that process, okay? And I was just reminded again, Don and I had just an unbelievable three-way phone call yesterday. And so Don, maybe you could, from your standpoint, give us your input on that third-party documentation, the power of that third-party documentation, utilizing that three-way phone call.
Yeah, it's the basics of what we do, third-party validation. And for anybody that is like yourself, Robin, getting going in this industry, you got to go through the steps. And the steps are really to not be the storyteller in the early stages of your business growth, because there's so many people that have a story that they've already sort of developed. And maybe it's the same story as yours. And it's just somebody else hearing it from somebody else is going to be way more believable, way more powerful. And one example I heard many years ago is if you go to your best friend and tell them you're in business for yourself, they're going to laugh at you because they saw you with a lampshade on your head when you were a kid. So why would they believe you now that you know what you're talking about? So if you get somebody else, even if they've had a lampshade on their head one time in their life, they don't know that. So, it's that third party. So, yeah. So, I'm always trying to get out of the way of the people that have to hear the story and let them, first of all, let's talk about what's a good three-way call. And John, you're the master at this. It's let them tell you who they are and what makes them tick somehow, some way real early. People will like you if they hear themselves talk. That's the reality of everything I've ever learned in business today. I've taught courses on this in different things when I was a school teacher and other things. Sit on a plane next to somebody. Don't say a word to them the entire flight. And if they talk the entire flight and all you did is nod and say, they're going to get home that night when they drive home from the airport and tell their family they sat next to the most incredible person they've ever been on a plane with in their lives. And you never said a word, right? It's because they want to hear themselves speak. So two things. One, get them talking, engaging who they are. Ask them, don't let you be the only one talking. John's really good at that. I've learned from him on that feature. So they tell you who they are. There's the first thing. Then involve the third-party validation of the person that you brought on as your expert and let them tell their story. Let them be the validation to why you're excited. And if it's possible, imagine you sitting at the same table with them, listening to that person, with your arm around them, with your notepad, just as intent, even if you've heard it 100 times, you have to just participate as now the learner, like this new person from this expert. That's a good third-party validated call. Don't interrupt. Don't jump in. Mute your phone. Let them tell their story. And if they ask you to speak, speak, but don't be the one that always wants to add something. And that's the hardest thing to do in a third-party validated call, is to not interrupt. But I can promise you this. I was on yesterday with John, with somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and I never said a word. I let John speak. I've had that person on another call today with somebody else. I never said a word. I let them speak. The key to a third-party call is if you're going to bring an expert on, let them be the person that they don't know them. Let them be the expert, and then follow up after with what you can tell them is the next step. That's the magic to a third-party call in my words, John.
I got to tell you, what we're talking about right now is simply one of the most powerful tools there is in network marketing. The third-party documentation. It teaches the new distributor, because the information is going through their ears into your prospects' ears. You learn the subtleties through the three-way phone call. It shows duplication. It builds belief in the member and in the prospect. But there is a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it. And what Don just covered here is so powerful. Letting that person talk, letting that prospect build that rapport, let them talk. Just that analogy, I smiled, Don, and chuckled when you talked about that, you know, being on an airplane and just nod your head and smiling, and they go home and say, I just had the most fascinating conversation, right? I mean, folks, I can't tell you how powerful that is. Listening to that person and hear their story and take an interest in their story. And then you can tell your story. And they tell you so much. That person, and then you can tell your story. Okay. So much. For some reason, I got an echo coming back. But listen, we're just, we got a little bit of time. We got another 10 minutes. For some reason, let's see, Don, if you want to expand, or anybody else wants to jump in. Don, if you want to expand, or anybody else wants to jump in.
Yeah, you know, John, I would just say there's 3 words, and I brought you over here because I had to plug the computer, and I was about to lose it. So, these 3 words you're talking about, get out of it. Yeah, this is live, right? So hold on.
Yeah, for some reason we got a real bad connection.
You know, I think it's. I'll just.
Yeah, we got real bad connection.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's real bad, Don. And for some reason, I got an echo coming back to me as well. It's real bad, Don. It's going back through the. And I got an echo back to me as well. I don't know.
It's possible, but I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off of my phone and see if that helps.
Yeah, that's better.
Hopefully that helps a little bit. Is that a little bit?
Yeah, it seems.
I was just going to say, John, if you can hear me, just yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Down and every training of Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pardon me. I say I've always heard these 3 words: vision, freedom, and purpose. Right? Each and every one of us have to have a vision to know where you want to go. You have to work to get that freedom, and you got to figure out why you want that freedom, and that becomes ultimately your purpose, right? Your why. I think if we all understand that there is definitely a proven course here done by people like John and others, follow the leader. Don't recreate the wheel. The most basic techniques work here. Don't try to recreate them. 3-way calls are magic. Using our systems, whatever your company is, they're going to have a system that's duplicatable. Don't deviate from the system the company creates. Let the duplication happen so that anybody can be successful. The most incredible marketers that develop all their own tools, yes, they can have some great success early, but can they duplicate that success? Find what works inside your company. Find the tools that other leaders are using inside your company and teach people to teach others to teach that. That's the magic. And one of them is just an industry phenomenon that's been here right from the big A to all the other companies, is a 3-way call. If you use that, that's duplicatable. So, John, that's my thoughts around the conversation today. I have a big why all over again here in this company. And I look forward to sharing as many of them in person one day when we can get on a plane and give you a big hug, my friend. I know we can't quite out of Canada to the US yet, but it's coming close. And I look forward to that open invite you've given me to your home. And of course, you always have that to come here.
Yeah, fantastic. And, you know, one of the things, Don, that you had said, you know, something else popped into my head, because, you know, this whole idea of duplication. And of course, we all know, hey, the only thing that's going to grow your business, my business, any one of our prospective businesses, it's prospecting, right? Never stop prospecting. Never, everything we do sets that example what others think they have to do. So you got to constantly prospect, constantly be doing the things that you want your team to be doing, because you teach a lot more by what you do than what you say. And that comes right back to the 3-way phone call, right? But the main point I want to make here is this. As important as enrollment and sponsoring and setting that example is, okay, you can't recruit your way to the top. You can only duplicate your way to the top. I mean, I know people in this business who've literally sponsored thousands of people and have never duplicated and still have no business. It's still working with people, duplicating a system, duplicating the process, right? So that's another important important note and element to note here. Oh, you're muted, Don.
Yeah, I say, and you've taught that forever, John, and I duplicate what you've taught me now. Duplicate, and if you don't get that word in your heart, you're not going to be able to have the freedom you're looking for, because you cannot always be the storyteller. You cannot always be the person at the front of the room. In fact, the person that's going to make the most money in your particular company you're involved with is the person at the back of the room that sponsored the person at the front of the room. So the quicker you can get to the back of the room, the more money you're going to make. So you need to rise people up. Like Robin, you're on this call 3 months later. Rise up, girl. Keep going. You're doing the right thing. You get people in front of the room, get them to hear the other people thanking them and appreciating them, and you will see your check grow. It's not all about you. It's about them. Look in the mirror, figure out who you are, start the personal development journey. Yes, that's important. There's no question about it. But really important is for you to help people get out of their own way real fast.
Absolutely, 1000%. Well, listen, we've got about 5 minutes here, so we'll turn it back to the group here and see if anybody else has something they want to throw in and contribute here before we say goodbye for today.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Hey, just enjoying some time outside here. So Faye and I are sitting out and enjoying the weather in Cancun. But Don talked about, and you had a fireside chat on it, just the why. And that the longer I'm around, that becomes so important for people to maintain that why, because without it, you wouldn't have what you have. Don wouldn't have what he has traditionally or in the network marketing business. And that for us was an adjustment coming here. We had a why and we have a strong why, but now we had to adjust it to fit our lifestyle here. But you still have to maintain that why day in, day out.
Yeah, 1000%. That why is the motivator, and I think the key to that why, Blair, is cultivation, right? Is we got to constantly be reminding ourselves, ideally, jot it down on a notepad, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it on your screensaver, but constantly be reminding yourself, of why you're doing this, right? And reviewing that every morning, reviewing that every evening, as often as possible through the day. And what it does is it stimulates that emotion, number one, that you had when you made that decision. But number two is it feeds your subconscious mind and put your subconscious mind to work to accomplish that. And as Napoleon Hill says, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. That we wouldn't have had a thought unless we were capable of its accomplishment. We are people, we are so much more than we give ourselves credit for. We can accomplish so much more than what we think we can accomplish if we just give ourselves a chance. Stay focused, stay consistent, right? Be true to yourself, and folks, you're going to wake up one day and your life will completely and totally have changed. So we're going to say goodbye. Appreciate everybody's time again, your input. Next week, next Friday, I have another special guest coming on. I'm really excited about it as well. Don, thank you for your participation, and everyone else for their participation. And Don, we need to do more of this. I really like having maybe a special guest to come on to it could add some real more excitement to these firesides. But we're going to build this in. I saw Jen Melendez comment, and I'd love to have you, Jen, as one of my special guests as well, one of these upcoming weeks. So with that, everybody have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye now.
Yeah.